Hi, my name is Bob and I'm renovating this 1973 Egg Harbor Sportfish boat. Well, hi there, it's June 1st, 2019. I'm finally back working on the boat, hopefully, for a while now. I took a little bit of time off to do videos and Memorial Day, Mother's Day, all that kind of business. But hopefully I'm back now and right at it. So last time I was here, I removed all the framing I had done in the cockpit here. So it's all cleared out now and stored away. But today's task is going to be trying to remove the mufflers and a step that's attached to the back transom. So let me show you what's going on back here in the cockpit and see my progress. So I sanded these ledger boards, knocked off all the plugs. There's a couple plugs I got to do. There's the muffler I have to remove, but I'll get back to that in a minute. Here's the other side. So everything's out. All the framing I did is out of the boat right now. And I got all the wiring off these engines for the most part. So they're ready to start ripping apart too. But anyways, here's the deal for today. I've already started on this side. There's a piece of plywood here. Well, I'll show you the other side because that one I haven't touched yet. This is the port side. And you can see they put this piece of plywood on here. Probably to strengthen the transom where the muffler goes through, but they didn't fiberglass the whole thing. A bit odd. They kind of left it. You can see what they did over here. Yeah, kind of shabby, but it was hidden away, so they didn't really care. So I got to remove all this plywood and get it down back to the actual fiberglass. So go back on this side. I've already started ripping it out. Got a pile of wood down here and pile of wood down in there. It was all 5200 in around the muffler to seal it, but it's a really tight fit. So I'm interested to see how the outside looks when I take the flange off. But this is the stuff I used to. It's hard to seal. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's what I used to get the bond off, the 5200. It seemed to work. I don't know if it was this stuff or just the bond sucked, but yeah, it worked pretty good. I still got to get a little bit done on the bottom, but anyways, we're going to go outside and check out there. Here's the starboard side muffler exiting the boat, and then this is the step I'm going to take off. Now, there's another step up underneath the shrink wrap here that I'm going to have to do, but I can't really get at the screws to that right now. I'm not really worried about that right now. It's just this one and this muffler and the other side. So the task for today, if I spraying some of this release agent on here just to hopefully get it soaking in. So I worked on all these screws from the inside. A couple of them were broken off. They were long enough that I could get a vice grip on the other side and twist them. But the whole thing just fell right off when I started unscrewing it. So that's a good thing. So this one goes on there, and I don't know if the release agent is making it easy, but the gel coat has a lot of bubbles and stuff in it. I can hear the gel coat's not even attached over here. Good. So that's gonna need some work. Yeah, that'll have to all be ground down, filled in. But it's off. Hated those steps. They're not very practical. Okay, here we go. So I removed the muffler, and the muffler had this 2x4 here. So I was removing it. It was the support. So I pulled it back, and right here, you can see, if I can hold the thing steady, is a quarter. And I flipped it over, and sure enough, of course it's not going to focus on here, but it's a 1973 quarter. So this was probably put there when the boat was built. That is really cool. We're going to remove this muffler, so we have to first get some release agent on this 5200. So I'm just going to try to cut into it a little bit. I'll spray some of this release agent in here. To a problem on this side. There's just too much fiberglass on this side to remove it. They put the fiberglass on after they put the muffler in, because I could tell because they had fiberglass on top of the muffler over here. So I have to cut some of this fiberglass on this side off before I can go any further. So now that I got all that plywood off all the way around and all the major sealant, I'm going to give a shot right in this gap here, just in case. I know there's some in there on the other side. Sorry for the... So the next thing I have to do is remove the little flange that's on the outside. Like the other side, these screws, you saw that one just popped out, broke off. So I'm just gonna grind these heads. That's my Dremel tool. This is the bit I use. It's just a spiral type metal bit. And it grinds this bronze pretty easy. So we'll get done with that. caulking in here, almost like a cockpit. Probably a fiberglass. Not sure. See it? Well, it's just you just caulked it as if they were caulking a joint in a wood boat. Released from the outside here. I gotta just remove this support they put in. I'm gonna have to cut that one. So I finally got this off. I just used my Dremel, my oscillating tool, cut down through. Got some water in it, so I'll have to clean it. But bring it over. See the hole? The hole's pretty tight. It's got a bevel on the outside. It's now that the muffler's off, I can remove the rest of this plywood and any plywood behind this fiberglass here that's been compromised, which is probably most of it. But you can see how they cut some vertical lines in the back of the plywood so it would contour to the transom. So I'm gonna have to do that when I put my plywood on. Yeah, that's it. Muffler out. Both done. I'm going to start removing the plywood here. Now I think what I'm going to do, since this is obviously thicker than this, it's probably a transition point, so I'm going to cut along here. And then probably up in here somewhere for now. I might go higher than that, but for now, and remove all of this area. All the thicker plywood. This is really tied in really well to the hull. That's got to be ground off. But all this extra stuff here, I'm going to try to remove that now. What I'm going to use is my oscillating tool. This cuts the fiberglass really well. I don't have to go too deep with it. Just through the fiberglass, and the plywood I think will come off easy with it. I got to don all my safety gear first. So this is what I'm using to grind this, just using my drill. And then I have these little twist off thing, and it seems to work pretty good. It's a rough, coarse grit, and it comes in a package of about 5 or 6, and they're easy to use, and they work good and fit in tight areas. I've got just about everything sanded off here over in this area, but I can't get back in here. I'm trying to take this piece off here. This is just a stop for the steering. Steering arm comes and hits that, and it just keeps it from going. There's one on each side. So I'm trying to take, well, there's one big bolt here. I got the nut off the bottom of that. But then they have this screw here that I can't get out. The head is all screwed up, so I gotta cut it with my oscillating, excuse me, tool. Allergies. Yeah, so that's what I'm working on. Actually, it might be enough to get this in there. Probably take all this off at some point, but difficult because of this corner back here. Probably remove this corner right here. So here's an update on the transom work so far. I managed to sand all of the wood off. This is the starboard side, and grind it pretty flat, but there was a lot of crazy stuff going on with fiberglass where the factory just kind of hacked it in there, looks like. So anyways, I got that mostly taken care of, but the problem is on this side, especially up underneath this piece, there should be plywood here to hold this piece on, but I'm not feeling any until way up near here, and I don't like that. And so I think what I'm going to do is take off the ledger board, or the 3 ledger boards that are there, just unscrew them all the way down the other side too, and cut that fiberglass behind them away to see what the condition of the plywood is behind there. I mean, this piece on the end here is okay, so hopefully it's as good as that, but it's tucked up way in there, and yeah, I just don't feel comfortable with it. Probably will replace it all the way along the back, although there's no piece here. Stops right in here, so I'll have to think about that if I want to continue it all the way over, or if I just want to leave it as a gap, because maybe it's acting as an airspace or ventilation or something up underneath, because that piece of plywood that's covering it ends probably about a ½ inch from the top. And I can stick my fingers down in the back here, and that's an airspace right down to here, so could be for ventilation. So or maybe they just didn't need to do it, so they didn't do it to save time and money. But I'm gonna have to take that off and kind of investigate and come up with a game plan. I was going to take it off anyways, but might as well do it now. I'll have to mess around with my stair over here because it's all attached to it, but I'll figure that one out, or I'll be sleeping here tonight. I have to start releasing these screws here. take you in here because you can see the damage. Their first piece is off. It's like all rotted on the top because water got right down in there and just totally dry rotted. There's a really bad area right here, really bad area. And yeah, that's why it's going to be replaced. I thought I wasn't going to do any more filming, but I had to film this. This is the last piece, and it is really bad. It's all cracked in through here, chewed up, and it's flimsy. And it's not too bad in the middle. Then you get to this part, right where it attaches back here. And my theory is why it's so rotted where these are is that the water came down and sat in here. Where over in here, the water would run off the planks and then drop down to the back here and drain off. So it's not, top of that is halfway decent. But wherever there was some plywood like this, I think the water just came and just sat right down in this groove right up against this stuff here. And you can see the ends are really bad. That's where the scupper is. The scupper probably wasn't working. The water probably was running down the back of this piece of wood instead of coming out the scupper. So we're gonna have to engineer that. Even though every screw cracked right at the screw. This is so dry rotted right here. All cracks. All the screws. So just had to show. This is cracked all the way through. Let's see. So yeah, that's why we're replacing it, but it's bad. Well, hello everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed that episode, and this is going to put a wrap on this episode, kind of, sort of. Next episode we're going to be putting some plywood back on this transom, cleaning up the bilge in that area, doing a few other things too. I haven't put it together yet, so I don't really know exactly what's going to be in it, but those are the general things that will be in it. As far as what's going on with the COVID-19, I kind of put a self-restriction on myself not to come over to the boat to film unless I'm doing something over here. So I haven't really been over here for 3 weeks. Been able to work at home. But I did come over here yesterday, beautiful Saturday, to fit some hatches that I was working on back here. And thing was, everybody else had the same idea. They were all over here. It's very noisy here. There's music playing in the background that I really can't put on my YouTube channel. And there's a little bit of language going on in the background that I definitely cannot put on my YouTube channel. I don't mind it, but yeah, I can't share it, so you can imagine. But anyways, the filming didn't go over yesterday, so I ended up coming over here early Sunday morning to film this closing. Now, there may be some videos that I put out in the future that don't have openings and closings and things like that, and that's the reason why I just don't feel like doing it in my shop. Or maybe I will, I don't know. But anyways, with that, hopefully everybody's doing well. I'm doing well myself. I'm working from home. I have been for 4 weeks. I'm lucky enough to be able to do that. And our CEO told us he's in no rush to get us back in the offices anytime soon, so I'll probably be doing it for a while. It did prompt me to update my sweatpant collection. Been wearing 20-year-old ones. Finally got some new ones in, so I'm happy about that. Anyways, that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully everyone's doing well and things get back to somewhat normal for each and every one of us at some point. So, until then, until the next episode, everyone have a good one, and we'll see you really soon right here on Renovation Sportfish.